after 10 years or so of it. But then when COVID hit, all of a sudden, my kids and I were excluded again.
Friends, it's me, Rob, welcoming you once again to Starspill USA, your ultimate home for all things sister wives. Today's story goes far beyond simple family drama. It's about power, faith, and the slow collapse of Kody and Robyn Brown's marriage. The financial records are out. The whispers behind the scenes are growing louder. And now the cracks that once seemed small are beginning to split their relationship wide open. According to Kody Brown, Kody's daughter with Christine, what's happening between her father and Robyn isn't just television drama. It's a real-life emotional tug-of-war. She's been speaking on her Patreon, giving fans a rare, unfiltered glimpse into what's really happening behind closed doors. Her revelations confirm what many viewers have suspected for years. Kody and Robyn are not the happy couple they pretend to be. For years, Robyn was seen as the favorite wife, the one who got Kody's undivided attention, love, and financial support. But that love came with a steep price: complete obedience. Kody revealed that Kody doesn't value love in the way most people do. He values control, dominance, and respect. And in his world, respect means submission. He expects his wife to follow his lead, agree with his decisions, and never challenge him publicly. But the balance of power has shifted. With Christine, Janelle, and Mary all gone, Robyn is now Kody's only wife left standing, and that's not the position of power it may appear to be. In fact, Kody claims that Kody's treatment of Robyn has become more demanding since the other wives left. Without the others, there's no competition, no audience to impress, no need for diplomacy. He's become, in Myselti's words, more rigid, more controlling, and less affectionate. And the financial tension between them isn't helping. Since the other wives left, the full financial burden of the Brown empire, the Coyote Pass property, the taxes, the business loans, and even the TLC income negotiations has fallen heavily on Kody and Robyn. Documents show their finances are under pressure, and sources close to the family claim Robyn's online jewelry business has been struggling, leaving her desperate to maintain their image of wealth. This has created a dangerous power dynamic. Kody controls the money and Robyn depends on it. Kody revealed that Robyn often has to play nice to keep financial peace, carefully managing her tone and behavior so Kody doesn't withhold access to funds. Imagine being trapped in a marriage where emotional affection and financial security are both conditional. That's Robyn's reality right now. But the most shocking part? Despite knowing all of this, Robyn still insists on defending Kody. She's emotionally tied to the fantasy of polygamy, the faith that promised her eternal family, celestial glory, and spiritual validation. She grew up in a broken plural household and has admitted to struggling with jealousy. Yet she still believes plural marriage is the only path to heaven. Why? Because she's been taught since childhood that suffering is sacred. In the world of fundamentalist Mormon polygamy, women are told that their pain is proof of faith. If your husband takes another wife, you're meant to smile, be gracious, and call it spiritual growth. If you feel jealous, you pray harder. If you feel lonely, you remind yourself it's a test from God. That's how the system keeps women loyal, by teaching them to see endurance as holiness. So when Robyn clings to the dream of polygamy, even though it's destroyed her peace, she's not just fighting for her faith, she's fighting to prove her worth. But here's where it gets truly tragic. Kody no longer believes in that system at all. He's left the church, rejected polygamy, and publicly declared that plural marriage doesn't work in the eyes of their old religious community. Kody's a failure, a man who broke the principle and lost his eternal family. And yet, Robyn stays. Kody and Tony Padron both questioned why Robyn, she truly believed polygamy was essential for salvation, hasn't left Kody to find another man still practicing it. She could easily do it. Single women who embrace the principle are highly sought after in fundamentalist circles. But she didn't. She chose Kody over her faith. That decision reveals everything. Robyn's loyalty isn't purely spiritual, it's strategic. She's holding on to her position, her home, her fame, and her lifestyle. She doesn't want to return to being an unknown, struggling single mom like she was before the show. She's built her life around Kody and the Sister Wives platform. Losing him means losing financial stability, public status, and the safety she's fought to maintain for her children. And there's more. Michael T. hinted that Kody and Robyn's financial decisions haven't just been personal. They've affected the entire Brown family legacy. Money from shared family accounts in TLC. Earnings were allegedly funneled into businesses that only benefited Kody and Robyn. That's why the release of new financial records has reignited anger among fans and even the other Brown children. They're beginning to see how loyalty and manipulation have worked hand in hand to protect Kody and Robyn's comfortable life. The sad truth is, this happy ending isn't happy at all. Robyn's caught between her religious fear and her emotional dependency on Kody. He's lost his wives, his faith, and his authority, and she's lost her sense of freedom. Together, they're trapped in a marriage built on guilt, pride, and denial. As Michael T. summed up, Dad wants control. Robyn wants security. Neither wants to let go. And that, more than anything, is why their marriage is slowly imploding before our eyes. So is this truly the end for Kody and Robyn Brown? Will Robyn ever find the courage to break free? Or will she keep clinging to a man who's already walked away from everything she claims to believe in? One thing's certain, this isn't a fairy tale anymore. It's a cautionary tale. It's a cautionary tale. What Robyn truly wanted was never just love. It was what Kody could offer. Status, visibility, and the chance to be the reigning queen of a famous, successful, polygamous family. It wasn't about spiritual connection or destiny. It was about prestige. She wanted to show her old friends, those still struggling in conservative, fundamentalist communities, that she'd made it to the top. That she was no longer just another wife surviving polygamy, but the woman who had turned it into a brand. The Browns were on television. They were celebrities in a way few in their world could ever be. To Robyn, joining Kody wasn't about romance. It was about entering a kingdom. When Robyn tells her story now, she loves to highlight how she had options. She mentions how other men proposed to her, how she could have chosen different paths. And she's absolutely right in those circles. A woman willing to enter a plural marriage is highly sought after. She could have gone anywhere. But she chose the Browns for a reason. They could give her something no other family could: fame, security, and a platform. Becoming a Brown wasn't just marriage. It was a move onto a stage. She wanted the wealth that came with being a reality TV wife, the glamour of being seen as the face of modern polygamy. She wanted to show everyone back home that she'd won, that she had become the queen of a very visible empire. Meanwhile, Kody's motivations were a world apart. To him, Robyn wasn't just another wife, she was the trophy. The young, beautiful, devoted woman he believed could prove that polygamy could still work if only the right woman were involved. Robyn wasn't just a partner. She was validation. In his mind, her beauty and loyalty would prove that he wasn't the problem the others were. She was his reward for years of chaos and conflict. The woman who would finally make his vision of plural marriage seem perfect to the world. So, from the start, the two of them entered a marriage built on a transaction. Robyn wanted influence, protection, and financial comfort. Kody wanted admiration, physical attraction, and ego reinforcement. It was a deal, not a union. And as long as both kept up their end, things ran smoothly enough. Robyn got her visibility, Kody got his validation. But transactional relationships always have an expiration date. Because when one side stops getting what they bargained for, the whole thing begins to collapse. And collapse it did. Robyn thought she was getting fame, fortune, and the throne of a thriving polygamous dynasty. Instead, she ended up with 3 sister wives walking out. A husband disillusioned with his own religion, and the ruins of a family that had made her special. The world that once celebrated her now sees her as the villain, the symbol of everything that went wrong. Kody, on the other hand, believed he was getting eternal devotion, proof that he was still the patriarch everyone should admire. But what he got instead was discontent, isolation, and a mirror reflecting every one of his failures. Neither of them is living the life they signed up for. The contract they made, silently but surely, has been broken. This brings us to Michael T. and Tony, who see this situation through entirely different lenses. Tony believes Kody would do anything to keep Robyn. He's convinced that if Robyn demanded a return to polygamy, Kody would cave, that he'd go out and find another wife just to make her happy. In Tony's eyes, Kody is a man enslaved by his need to keep Robyn's approval, willing to twist himself into knots for her affection. But Mike Letty sees something far darker and, frankly, far more convincing. She doesn't believe Kody would lift a finger to please Robyn if it meant compromising his pride. If Robyn ever gave him a real ultimatum, bring in another wife or I'm leaving, Michael T. believes Kody would walk away without hesitation, because Kody has made it abundantly clear that he's done with polygamy. Not just emotionally done, ideologically done. He's declared it over, finished, buried. For him, going back would be an act of humiliation, a public admission that his judgment was wrong. And Kody Brown doesn't tolerate being proven wrong. Remember what Kody has always said? He values respect above love. Respect, in his vocabulary, means obedience. It means submission. It means that his word is law. So if Robyn were ever to push him to violate his own boundaries, to force him into a lifestyle he's explicitly rejected, that wouldn't just be disagreement. It would be rebellion. And Kody doesn't forgive rebellion. His history proves it. Every time a wife questioned him, he distanced himself. Every time someone refused to follow his lead, he punished them with silence, withdrawal, or outright abandonment. Tony might see a man desperate to please his favorite wife. But Michael T. hears Kody's words loud and clear. Respect over love. That means the moment Robyn challenges him, the illusion of partnership dissolves. The same coldness he showed to Mary, Janelle, and Christine could one day be turned on Robyn herself. Because for Kody, there's always one golden rule. If you don't serve his vision, you don't stay in his life. And there's only one reason he hasn't already cut ties. He has no one else waiting. Michael T. nailed this point. If there were another woman, younger, more adoring, and ready to take Robyn's place, Kody would be gone in a heartbeat. But with no new diesel jeans model to chase, he stays put. Not out of love, but out of necessity. Robyn remains the last symbol of the empire he once ruled. The only thing standing between him and complete irrelevance. In short, they're both trapped, not in love, but in mutual dependence. Robyn fears losing the security that Kody provides, while Kody fears facing the emptiness that comes with losing his last loyal subject. The marriage now stands not on passion, not on faith, but on fear. And once that fear fades, even the illusion of unity will shatter. Make no mistake, if Robyn ever makes polygamy a deal breaker, if she refuses to let the issue go, it won't be Kody who bends. It'll be Kody who walks away. That's the kind of man he is. But here's the puzzle. If Kody has no intention of returning to polygamy, yet also doesn't want to lose Robyn, what's his plan? Simple. He plays what I like to call the maybe game. Kody has mastered the art of strategic ambiguity. Every so often, he'll dangle the possibility of new wives. Not enough to commit, just enough to keep Robyn hoping. He keeps the fantasy alive, suggesting that perhaps one day when the time is right, they might revisit the idea. It's manipulation disguised as empathy. He sprinkles breadcrumbs of hope through casual conversation. What if we did this? Or maybe someday, if circumstances change. He keeps that door slightly ajar, letting a sliver of light through, just enough for Robyn to believe her dream is still alive. This is textbook Kody Brown. Control through inconsistency. Keep people off balance. Never let anyone fully know where they stand. It's exhausting, it's confusing, but it's undeniably effective. Because when you're constantly waiting for a promised shift for the next conversation, the next change, the next maybe, you stay hooked. You stay invested in a relationship that no longer gives you what you need. But here's the sinister twist. Kody has actually managed to blame Robyn for his failed marriages with the other wives. He's told people that he only stayed with them because Robyn insisted on living the principle of plural marriage, that he sacrificed his own happiness to please her. In this retelling, he's the martyr, the man who suffered through loveless relationships just to keep his spiritual wife from leaving. Now, of course, with those marriages behind him, Kody has flipped the script yet again. He's using that very sacrifice as leverage against Robyn. "I gave up what you wanted once," he can claim. "I stayed in polygamy for you, and look how that turned out." It's a manipulation masterclass, rewriting history to justify his current stance. Anyone who's ever watched someone twist past events to serve their present narrative recognizes this move immediately. It's a way to silence questions before they're even asked. Take something that was entirely your own decision, frame it as a noble act for someone else, and then weaponize it to prevent them from ever asking again. Meanwhile, Kody is playing another game entirely, one that revolves around money. He keeps Robyn comfortable, very comfortable. The gifts, the massive home, the elevated lifestyle, they're not just perks. They're control mechanisms. Every piece of jewelry, every luxury purchase, every remodel of the house is a reminder. This comfort comes from staying. The unspoken message is clear: push too hard and it all disappears. Because Robyn understands the reality of leaving, the brutal arithmetic of it all. As of October 2025, Kody and Robyn are living in a $2 million home in Flagstaff, a 5,500 square foot main house and a 2,000 square foot guest house. That's the kind of comfort that doesn't exist in the fundamentalist world she left behind. Back there, polygamous families stretch every dollar until it screams. One man supporting multiple wives and dozens of children on a single income. Women couponing, budgeting down to the last cent, making one chicken feed 3 families. Robyn has lived that life. She's seen the reality of spiritual living in poverty. She watched her mother and her mother's sister wife share every penny, compete for attention, and somehow make it all work. And now, after years of living in luxury, can she really go back? Could she trade designer handbags for grocery lists and half-empty pantries? That's the true bind. Every woman who's ever faced the crossroads between principle and practicality understands it. In theory, faith and conviction come first. But in practice, you've got bills, children, and security to think about. When your current life offers warmth and certainty, while your alternative offers hardship and chaos, it becomes very easy to convince yourself that maybe this is God's plan after all. That's why Robyn stays. She compromises. She softens her stance. She convinces herself that maybe monogamy isn't the worst thing in the world. She pushes back just enough to feel like she hasn't completely surrendered her faith, but not enough to risk losing the comfort she's built. And Kody, he knows exactly what he's doing. Now, there's a rumor swirling that makes all of this even more intriguing. Word is, Robyn has seriously considered leaving Kody, not just emotional outbursts, but genuine planning. She's thought about what it would look like, what she'd need to do, and what it would cost. And the reason she hasn't done it yet? She feels trapped. Trapped by finances. Trapped by her children's dependence. Trapped by a life that's too big to walk away from. If that's true, then we're not watching a marriage anymore. We're watching a hostage situation with very nice furniture. And there's more. Insiders have whispered about a potential Sister Wives spin-off, one focusing on the ex-wives Christine, Janelle, and Mary. And possibly if she ever leaves. Robyn, imagine that, all 4 women sitting down, sharing their truths, unfiltered, unedited, without Kody's narrative controlling the room. TLC would have gold on its hands. The healing, the revelations, the shared pain. It would be explosive television. So maybe that's part of Robyn's hesitation too. Maybe she's waiting for a guaranteed platform before she walks. Because if the Sister Wives era truly ends and she divorces Kody, what's next for her? How does she maintain her lifestyle? What income does she have outside the show? For a woman who's been financially dependent for over a decade, that's not a small question. That's the question. Michael T. once said something that hits harder with each passing month. Dad will never find another diamond because he's not a diamond himself. He's not a good man. He doesn't care about love, and she's right. If Robyn ever truly disobeyed him, if she ever became difficult or unmanageable, he'd drop her just like he dropped Christine, Janelle, and Mary. The only reason he hasn't yet is because she's still pliant enough, still dependent enough, still playing her role. But here's the truth. Two narcissists locked in a marriage of convenience can only last so long. When both people prioritize control, manipulation, and ego over genuine love, there's only one possible ending: implosion. And it's coming. Here's how it likely unfolds. Robyn stays until the money dries up, until the kids are grown, until the cameras stop rolling. Once the sister wives' paychecks end and the financial cushion disappears, she reassesses. When comfort fades and Kody can no longer provide, the question won't be, can I afford to leave? It'll be, can I afford to stay? Because from the very beginning, all Robyn ever wanted was to be the queen, the glamorous, successful face of polygamy. She got her crown, her throne, and her king. But the kingdom crumbled. The other wives left, the empire collapsed, and the dream she built her life around turned to dust. And now, she's left standing beside a man who can no longer deliver the life he promised. A man desperate for respect, not love. And a woman desperate for comfort, not connection. Neither of them the prize they once pretended to be. So we wait. Because when this marriage finally shatters, when the last thread of pretense breaks, it will mark the most dramatic fall in sister wives history. Tell me, when the final curtain falls, will it be Robyn who walks away first? Or will Kody, true to form, find a younger replacement and leave her behind? Drop your predictions in the comments, tap like, hit subscribe. Kate, keep those notifications on, because trust me, this story is far from over. The next chapter of Brown family chaos is already writing itself. Family chaos is already writing itself.